Hello and welcome to the show. I'm making today's recording outside of the National Hospital in Abuja. So I expect to hear some interruptions in the background. Of course, I'm in the car park, so people talking here and there and then stuff like that. Now, if this is your first time of tuning into the podcast, the goal of this show is free business education. I'm not here to talk about the state of hospitals in Abuja or in Nigeria, so don't worry, you're in the right place. If you're concerned about learning how to sell, learning how to market, and learning a bunch of business stuff, you're in the right place. So, when you're done with the episode, please share, promote, and talk about the podcast so that your friends and family members in Nigeria and abroad can benefit from the questions that we tackle. They can do that by subscribing on Spotify, YouTube, Apple, or any player of their choice. And if you, in particular, dear listener, have any sales and marketing questions, bring them to me. You can call, SMS, or WhatsApp me on 080-6466-2140. Now, before we go into the topic for today, we're going to continue on closing techniques. Some of you might be worrying, like, National Hospital, Bawo, like what's happening? Well, it's not me. Just came here to come and greet somebody who is about to have surgery. And, anyway, she's doing okay. But from time to time, let's just remember to pray for people who are going through serious health challenges, because it's hard enough to try and, raise a family, do a business, stuff like that, when you're having significant health challenges. But then, with the state of the economy now and then, how much people have to pay for health, it can be an absolute downer. So please, prayers for the person that I came to visit today. So I just said, let me just make this recording real quick before I hit the road, because I don't want to forget and then leave this thing not closed. So today on the show, we're going to be doing closing techniques. Yesterday, we defined closing techniques, if I remember correctly, and why we should think of closing as just moving things forward one step at a time, getting people to take the next step, and just trying to get things to move along. Then, let's see, we also looked at trial closes. Trial closes are just what you do to confirm that you guys are on the same page, that you guys are moving, you guys are on the right, on the right level. And one example that I gave, for instance, was this was on a more personal note. For instance, I was talking to who was I talking to? One of the ladies in Benin, and she wasn't understanding this trial close thing. And I told her, look, you know what? Remember how you're with your boyfriend and you now ask him that, look, what are we doing here? Blah, blah, blah. What are we? All those questions that, babes like to ask when, as a young man, you've been hanging around and you haven't said anything. Now, that is an example of a trial close, or feedback questions, because it gets you to understand, okay, are you guys on the same page or not? Because that will now determine the next step. So if the boy says, no, it's just from the benefits, then there's no point in going for the close, because nothing there. But if the guy is like, what do you mean? You be my girlfriend from T, you now know that, okay, you guys are on the right course, and you can proceed. So it's the same thing in the business context. Is this what you're looking for? Does this suit your needs? Is this something you see yourself using? Between option this and option this, which one works for you? How do you feel about this? All those small questions. It will let you know whether the conversation between you and the potential customer, the potential client, whether you guys are on point. Now the goal is this. If you guys are not on point, if your understanding is not the same, if they're not feeling what you're saying, if they're not picking up what it is that you're putting down, you now know that you have to go back to need analysis and make sure that you understand the nature of the problem, understand what it is that they're looking for before you make a proposal and you try to close again. Because if you guys are not on the same page and you're trying to close, there is no way that this thing will close. So let's say you sell cars and you're talking to somebody who is a Benz kind of guy, and you show him every single Toyota in the parking lot, and you try to close. The thing is, if you've not had that need analysis conversation, and you've not figured out that this guy is a Benz kind of guy, that deal is not closing. A Benz guy is not going to buy Toyota. Like, for what? And then there's some of us who are Toyota boys who are probably not going to buy a Benz. For what? And who knows? Maybe when my financial situation improves, you guys might see me driving around in an S-Class or something. So, these are the things. These are the how I put it, the laying the foundation, the preamble that makes closing possible. So that's one thing I wanted to stress yesterday, and I'm going to stress again. Don't focus too much on closing techniques. Focus on all the things that come before. How you open the sale, how you do need analysis, excuse me, how you check to be sure that both of you are on the same page. You understand what it is that they need. They like all the options that you have put before them. It is only when you're at that stage that you can start trying to do any of these closing techniques. Then, also remember from yesterday's episode that I said the closing techniques that we are going to consider are going to be closing techniques that will work in a particular kind of situation. Because this is what I was recommending to the sales associates of my former client who has a store, a physical location where they sell tech, gadgets, lifestyle, computer stuff, things like that. You want your PlayStation, you go there. You want a gaming table, gaming chair, you go there. You want brand new phones, you go there. You want laptops, you go there. You want Bluetooth speakers, you go there. That kind of store. So these are supposed to be the kind of closing techniques that would work in that situation where you have a physical store. You have been doing lots of advertising and inbound to get people to come to the shop. So these are closes that should work in that kind of situation. So please, I said it yesterday and I'm going to say it again today. Do not assume that every single thing that we will discuss in this episode regarding closing is going to work for every single circumstance or every single context. Okay? Then also remember that there are many, 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 many kinds of closing techniques, closing tactics. So this is not an exhaustive list. This is just a list of some stuff that I think that they should know. And of course, when you're in sales, you take the responsibility for educating yourself. So like I told them, I've told you people a couple of stuff, but keep paying attention to YouTube, to podcasts, to things like that. Also pay attention to Oga when Oga is selling, or when you go into different selling environments, you go into different shops, you go into different business establishments. Pay attention to what other salespeople are doing, and then you will learn other closing techniques as well. All right, so let's get straight into it. I believe, let me look at my notes. The things that I said we'll discuss today are, assumptive closes, direct close, benefits close, alternative choice close, urgency or scarcity close, and then the takeaway close. All right, so let's go into some details now. Now, assumptive closes, this is my default. Assumptive close just means you're going on as if this thing is going to close, and you just continue the conversation like that. Just continue on a casual note as if you don't be like, we're going to do this business. So one example, and this one I learned from hanging around Igbo boys in Lagos, because Igbo boys do this one a lot, this assumptive close. If you notice, Igbo boys, they just assume that this thing is going to close. So as the conversation is going now, they just ask, okay, so how many are you taking? See, that's an assumptive close. You have assumed that I'm going to buy. So the only thing now is, are you buying 3 or 5 or 10 or 12? So that's something that Igbo boys do. How many are you taking? That's an assumptive close. Then another assumptive close. I came across this one a lot in the UK. Oh, do you like this in black or in blue? So the sales associate, the babe that's talking to you, she has assumed that the jacket that you've seen, that you like it. And so she just asks, would you like this in black or in blue? If you say blue, she'll go and bring the blue one, and she'll say, okay, can I take this to the till for you? Let's get this wrapped up. See, the baby just assuming that this deal is a done deal. So that is my own default. So these are assumptive closes. You just assume the person is going to buy anyway, and then you ask some small questions just to prod them in the right direction. So how many are you taking? Do you want this in black or in blue? Should we wrap this thing for you? Or is it for you, or is it a gift for madame? Do you like this thing to be gift wrapped? All these kind of questions. For those of you who schooled in the UK, you should be familiar with assumptive closes, because in the retail space, they use assumptive closes all the time. So that is my default. I'd always just assume that the deal is going to close, and so I continue with questions in that regard. Now, the direct close, and the reason why I brought this up is because it's one of the sales associates for my former client in Benin. The babe is very direct. And I wanted to caution them, direct closing is good, but only if you have built good rapport with the customer, good flow with the customer, and if you have read the customer cues correctly. Or else you might run the risk of insulting somebody when you try a direct close. So a direct close is just when you ask outright, look, are you buying today or not? Are you ready to buy today or not? Are you going to be paying for this now? Should I start processing your order? Should I start wrapping this up? As it is very direct. So, well, it's not bad, but for those of you who are newbies, you haven't quite gotten a sense of what your selling style is, reserve all these direct closes for when you have more experience. Because, like for instance, are you ready to buy today? That kind of thing can tick people off. And I've been in that situation. Well, me and my wife were, where were we? I think we were at Sadi Plaza. Went into one of these stores, just looking at some stuff. And, for those of you who are married, you know how it is now. Madam will go and select like 5 or 6 things. This one will be good for this. This one will be good for this daughter. This one will be good for my son. This one will be good for this, good for that. She'll be asking you questions. You put some back. Maybe they will bring another 5 or 7. The normal something. And then the baby's like, are you ready to buy today or not? And that thing just ticked me off. And I just told my wife, like, let's get out of here. That is absolute rubbish. And we left. I went to go and buy somewhere else. So, you see, direct closes, like, it's all right. It's a nice way to get the conversation moving. And I understand that for you, some of you, it might be frustrating. That woman is there and she's trying, she's taking some clothes, she has put some back, she has asked for this, she has put some back. In that kind of situation now, this is what you do. You don't say, madam, are you buying today or not? No, that's not the right attitude. The right attitude is like, oh, madam, looks like you need some help with selecting items. And, of course, the mommy, okay, well, in my own case, I wasn't being very helpful because, how will I put it? My sense of fashion is not very good, so I wasn't being very helpful. So in that case, the more useful thing for the girl to have done was, oh, madam, looks like you need some help. My wife would have said yes. And then you start asking some questions. How old are your children? Oh, okay, boy and a girl. Okay, how old? What does the girl like? What does the boy like? Blah, blah, blah. This is this. Is it for house or is it for going out? Or is it a gift for one of your nephews? You ask all those kinds of questions. And then from asking questions and bringing more things, you start narrowing down on some suitable options, and that is how you get the person to the stage where you narrow things down, and then you can now start getting to the point of trying out a direct close instead of because you're frustrated because people are taking some things and then putting it down, take another thing, put it down, and then you go straight to look, are you buying today or not? That's a little bit what's the word? You understand what I'm trying to say. So those are direct closes. Are you buying today or not? Are you ready to buy today? Should I start processing your order? Things like that. Then there's the benefits close. The benefits close is where you start toasting the person by saying the benefits of something and using that as a reason why they should buy. So, oh, sir, that's a wonderful choice. The benefit of XYZ is this, and that. So, if you're absolutely fine with that and it makes a lot of sense, don't you think we should just go over to the till and get this sorted for you? That kind of thing. When you give the benefits. So, an example that one of the sales associates came up with was there's a particular, power bank that this sales associate likes. And I won't lie, the thing makes sense. It's a power bank, but the thing has torchlight. I didn't know the thing has torchlight. The thing also has the cables inside, pre-built. So you just pull it out and charge what you want to charge, and then the thing goes back in. And then it has multiple heads. So USB-C, the head is there. USB-A, the head is there. Ancient of Days USB, the head is there. And the thing, it looks pretty. It's like a pretty nice device. So for her, whenever she's trying to sell that particular one, she always goes to the benefits close. Like, look, bro, this is the one for you. Check out the light, whatever. Check out the retractable cable. The benefit of going with this one is if you buy this one, you never have to buy cable again. Check it. Look at the cable. It's very strong, blah, blah, blah. Any other flash drive, I say flash drive. Any other power bank, if you buy the power bank, you still have to buy extension cable of 3.5 or whatever. But see, this one has 4 or 5 extension cables inbuilt, blah, 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 blah. So, bro, how you see them? And for her, that's the way that she was closing. So that's the benefit close. And then at the end of it, she threw in some feedback, so blah, 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 how you see them. Oh, by the way, when you're trying to close, in case you haven't figured it out, it doesn't always have to be in English, in Queen's English. There was a lady that I spoke to a while back. This was sometime last year. And when I told her, she hadn't heard it before because she's Igbo. And I told her, look, it doesn't always have to be English. Because sometimes you start talking and you feel as if, because you're an Igbo person, and you feel as if this person is my sister, you might switch into, language, and it might make it easier to close the sale. And she wasn't too convinced until she tried it. And she saw that the thing yields results. Now, the reason why I know that firsthand is because I don't speak any Nigerian language. Yoruba, I understand, small. Igbo, you can sell me in Igbo. My language, Tiv, of course, I understand whatever is being said in Tiv, even though I don't speak. Because when I speak my language, my relatives laugh at me. In fact, my mom says I speak Tiv as if I'm an Idoma person. So I'd rather not. But my guy that we used to do videos together, Shegun, he was always very good at, in switching into that whole Yoruba thing, So like we'll be talking to somebody, he say, Omo Ilorin, this, that, ngbati. And I just noticed that, so it makes some conversations smooth. So I might start off with a client, like particularly older clients. Let's say we're discussing wedding photography and video, and I'm talking to Momsi and I'm all English proper and everything. But then by the time Shegun moves into the conversation. Oh, Oma Yoruba ni, yes ma, sa Benny, this, that, batting, prostrate on the floor, stand up, and then before you know it, they're laughing and talking, batting, and it makes it easy to close the sale. Oh, sorry, those of you who are Yoruba people, I've been saying Bati a lot. Anyway, you understand, I can be irreverent sometimes. So all these closing that we're talking about now, you don't have to do all these techniques in English. You can do it in Pidgin, you can do it in Igbo, you can do it in Yoruba, you can do it in however. The determining factors are this. Who are you talking to? What's the context? What is the nature of the relationship? So, it depends. So if, let's say, I'm selling insurance and I'm talking to a bank MD, perhaps I'm not going to slip into Pidgin. So, it depends. You look at the context. So, that's it with the benefit clause. So, like the sales associate, like the way she said it, this is a 6,000 mAh, whatever. So, if you're charging this kind of phone, that's 12 hours worth of battery. The flashlight is here. And you have these cables, you don't have to buy extra cables. So, how you see them. And, that's our way of doing things, how you see them, but it makes sense. Then, alternative choice clause, or the either or clause. So, what were we discussing again? Okay, for that particular one, we're discussing what's it called? PlayStation. The pad for PlayStation. I don't know if they call it pad now or whatever. Sure, but the thing you hold on your hand to play. So, alternative choice. Oh, okay. We have this particular pad. We have the standard UK pad, or we have the enhanced grip pad that is made in Canada. So, which of these do you prefer? You can say that this is alternative choice. You're giving the person A, you're giving the person B. If the person says A, you're on the right track. You're heading somewhere. If the person says B, you're on the right track. You're heading somewhere. If the person says neither, you now have to go back to need analysis and now figure out, what kind of gamer is this guy? What kind of games does he play? What kind of techniques does he like to use? Because it's possible that you guys are looking for controllers for PS or whatever game that the guy has come to buy. But, not everybody is a pad somebody. Some people are joystick people. And then some people are mouse people. So I'm playing the game, but I don't want to use pad. I want to use mouse. I don't want to use pad. I want to use joystick. So you need to have all these conversations. Now, you see how when I say, if you open this thing wrong, there's no way you will close this deal. If somebody is more of a joystick kind of person and you're showing the person pad, and you're talking about this pad is UK, this pad is Japan, this pad is this pad, there is no way this thing will close because my guy is a joystick person and you're showing him pad. So if you open up the conversation the right way, figure out the kind of games that the person plays, you figure out the kind of techniques that he likes to use when he's playing, and if he's beginning to sound as if joystick is the one that will make sense pass, then be showing the guy joysticks. Then your chances of closing the deal will now be high because you have started the deal, you have opened the conversation in the right way. So that's the alternative choice clause, or the either or clause. Yeah, do you want this thing in black or do you want this thing in white? We have standard grip, we have enhanced grip, we have this option, we have that option. Which of them do you prefer? If the person picks either one, it's all right. It means that you guys are making progress. Then there's urgency and scarcity clause. This is the one that everybody in Nigeria knows. They say, bros, look, we only have a few units left in the shop. In fact, this is the last iPhone 16 that we have now. So if you want to buy this thing for your girlfriend's birthday, bro, you have to pay for this thing now. Because if you say you want to think about it and you go and come back, I cannot guarantee that by the time you come back, this iPhone 25 Pro Max will still be left. Oh, by the way, I don't know whether we're at iPhone 25 now. So whatever iPhone it is. So that is the urgency clause or the scarcity clause. You're trying to get somebody to take action now. And this whole thing of few units, we do this in Nigeria a lot. Say, bros, you like this car? This Toyota Corolla 2023 version. In fact, you know that this is the latest in town. You don't see it in Abuja roads at all. And in fact, go around, check anybody in Abuja. You will see that I'm the only one that has this model. This is 2025. I'm the only person that has 2023 model in Abuja. Go and ask. You will see. And you can see this my car lot. I only have 3 left. Of these 3 that are remaining, 2 people are asking me for my bank account to drop deposit. So bros, if you're serious about this Toyota Corolla 2023, you suppose at least drop deposit of like that kind 12M. Let me hold it for you if you're serious. See, that's the urgency or scarcity clause. You're getting somebody to take action now because you have few units left, or you are low in stock on something, or there is a promo and the promo is ending on XYZ date. So like for people in inverter and battery sales, that's something that I've seen them do. So manufacturer is giving us a 25% discount for the month of Christmas. So instead of buying your battery now at 425k, if you pay now, you'll be able to get it for 375k, something like that. So that is urgency and scarcity clause. So in Nigeria, we do that a lot. So you can try that in your business. Helps to move the conversation along. Then there's the takeaway clause. Sorry, one moment. Okay, 22 minutes. Okay, let me wrap up. Then there's the takeaway clause. Now, like I told the ladies, especially the one that likes to be very, very direct, I told her, look, be careful with this very direct ones, because takeaway clause can backfire. So takeaway clause is where you try and take the option away. If the person is interested, the person will say, calm down now, why are you taking this thing to? We've not finished talking. That's the takeaway clause. But the thing can backfire. So those are situations where somebody says something like, it seems you're not really interested in XYZ, and then you take the thing away from the counter, you start taking it back to the shop to go and put it up there. If the person is interested, the person will like, calm down, they know the price again, bring it now, put this thing here, we haven't finished talking. That's the takeaway clause. By trying to take it away, the person has now signified that no, they're still interested, that they're still talking, like we're still pricing. So you now know that, okay, we're still on course. But the takeaway clause can backfire. If you say, oh, you're not really interested in blah, 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 you start taking it away, or you don't say anything, you start taking it away, some people, it can backfire. As you take it away, the person can say, oh, okay, have a nice day, and then the person leaves. And then that's it, you've lost your opportunity for a sale. Or the person can now be insulted or slighted, like, what the hell? And yeah, they also admitted that it's something that's happened. Like, what the hell? Who is this small girl? She thinks that I don't have money because of what? So these things can backfire. But takeaway clause, yeah, that's where you take away the option. If the person is interested, they're the ones that will say, no, why are you taking it away now? Now relax. Should be with the price. Like, calm down. Just leave the thing here. We're still talking. I'm still looking at it. I'm still examining it. Like, wait, where are you taking it to now? I want my wife to see it now. Just wait. My wife is in the car. When she comes, she'll look at it. So that's how the takeaway clause works. And so be careful. So it can backfire. So that's why I say it seems you're not really interested in blah, blah, blah. Or, Anyway, so that's it. That's the takeaway clause. Then, let me just stop here. So like I said, these things can go on and on and on and on and on and on and on. It depends on whether you're in a simple sales scenario or a complex sales scenario. That will determine the kind of closing techniques that you will do. So which one should you do for the business? It depends. I'd have to have a chat with you to know what's up. But for this particular context, for a physical store, for a physical location in Benin City where people are coming in to come and pick up stuff, any of these kinds of closing tactics or techniques would work well. The more direct closes, in my own opinion, wait until you've built up small experience before you start doing this. Assumptive techniques, that's not a bad way to start, because assumptive techniques are just very easy. Like, for instance, that Igbo close off, how many are you taking? It's not, how do I put it? You can't risk insulting anybody. The most that can happen is just that somebody will laugh and say, how many? In this economy, we haven't finished oneself and you're asking me how many. And you guys laugh it off. And then you build some rapport. It's always good, when somebody laughs and smiles. And then you guys continue the conversation. That's always good. So assumptive techniques, not bad. Easy to start. In fact, for me, that's like my own default anyway. So, let me see. What else? Okay, I've already made podcast episodes about what a simple sales scenario is, what a complex sales scenario is. So if you want to learn some more about that and how it determines what kind of closing that you do, all you have to do is go to YouTube and just search Tavishima Podcast Simple Sale, Tavishima Podcast Complex Sale, or maybe Tavishima Podcast closing techniques. So any podcast episode that I've made around those particular issues, and on YouTube we have over 1,100 and something episodes available now. So yeah, that's it. So yes, one last thing I forgot to mention. Please don't be like people that just keep researching forever. When it comes to closing techniques, these are things that the theory will never stop. There will always be new techniques or new adaptations on old techniques. So what you do is you go and you research small. From the ones that you research, you will hear some things that make sense to you. The ones that make sense to you, select like 2 or 3. Start practicing those 2 or 3. That's the way forward. Don't keep learning endlessly. Go and do small research. The ones that make sense, write them down. The 2 or 3 that you think fit your personality, fit your style, fit your flow, fit your cultural context, fit your business context. Just start implementing those 2 or 3. Over time, you get a sense of your closing style, what works best for you, what works best for your customer base. So don't keep learning these things in perpetuity. Don't be a learner for learning's sake. So that's all, folks. Remember, if you have any sales or marketing questions, bring them to me. You can call, you can SMS or WhatsApp me on 080-6466-2140. Thank you very much for your time and attention. I'll catch you, dear listener, at the next episode. And please remember, let us pray for our fellow countrymen and women who are just trying to make an honest living like we are, but who unfortunately have significant health challenges. We pray for good health for us all, and for God's blessings upon the work of our hands, so that we shall get good fruit in whatever it is that we've put our hands to. So I'll catch you guys in the next episode.